I'm Managing Editor Kim Schmidt. Welcome to On the Record. Here's a look at what's currently impacting the ag equipment industry. For the first time in Fendt's 85-year history, the AGCO brand is introducing a tractor in a color other than its usual green. During the Farm Progress Show earlier this month, AGCO introduced the 1000 Vario series row crop tractor as both a Fendt model and a Challenger model. The new tractor has been described as a technology tour de force and introduces automatic torque distribution to the front and rear wheels to help maintain traction. It also has onboard tractor and implement tire inflation pressure management and a host of precision farming functions through the Vario terminal touchscreen. Richard Conan, Director of Tactical Marketing for AGCO, says releasing the 1000 Vario series under the Challenger branding rounds out the product line in North America. Currently, the MT600 series plateaus in the high 300 horsepower range, and Challenger's track tractors fall in the low 400 horsepower range. The MT900 series is in the high 400 to 500 horsepower range and competes in the large frame articulated tractor market in North America.
The reason for AGCO to launch the Challenger 1000 series in North America was very simple. The fact that it came in and completed our product line in that high 300 to 500 horsepower wheel tractor market. Now this Challenger 1000 basically comes into play in that 400 to 500 horsepower market, and we believe that this product will do a much better job than the current small frame articulated tractor that's being offered to our North American customers. We know that Challenger, we've always been after the cash crop, grower market, and this is where our Challenger brand has a very strong foothold, and this will help our dealers expand into that market.
Conan says this introduction will give North American Challenger dealers a tractor to compete with small frame four-wheel drive tractors. He also says it's better for the farmer, who will get a better return on investment because it can be used for more functions around the farm versus small frame articulated tractors. Production on the 1000 series started this month with 170 units scheduled for the year total. Dealers will have them on their lots by the end of December. This week's dealer on the move is Roberts Farm Equipment. The New Holland dealer opened its third store in Mount Forest, Ontario. It has two other locations in Chesney and Lucknow. Now here's Jack Zemlicka with the latest from the Technology Corner.
Thanks, Kim. In the coming weeks, yield monitor data will begin being pulled from combine cabs as farmers and their advisors crunch the numbers on 2016 harvest totals. Talking with farm equipment dealers who have integrated agronomic services into their product-based precision farming business, it's clear that many are still striving to carve out a profitable niche, especially in markets where farmers have multiple retailers or consultants soliciting these services. One way dealers are beginning to bridge this gap is by tapping into a service intertwined with data collection and also one that farmers need: crop insurance. Agents are often first in line to validate yield data collected by farmers, and I visited a few dealers who collaborate or even office share with a local crop insurance agent, primarily to create a two-way street for customer referrals. Van Wall Equipment, a John Deere dealership group based in Perry, Iowa, began selling crop insurance in 2015, 1 year after it added agronomic services. The dealership has 4 in-house agronomists and 10 precision specialists spread throughout its 16 ag stores, with each of the specialists also a certified crop insurance agent. Van Wall's Integrated Solutions Manager, Scott Meldrum, suggests that 40% of the crop insurance policies sold in Iowa last year were in error because the data used to create them wasn't accurate. An advantage to offering crop insurance is that the dealership can leverage the service to strengthen customer relationships and confidence.
The way that we, quote unquote, ensure that ours are not in that 40% is we have our agent look at the policy. We then have 2 other sets of eyes in the processing department that look at that policy to catch those errors. But what we're doing on the equipment side as AMS specialists is we are ensuring that the data that's coming through is as accurate as possible. We're not double counting acres. We have all our unit structure correct. So The acres that are planted are the acres that are reported.
While still a rarity among farm equipment dealerships, selling crop insurance through the Precision Department would seem to be a natural affirmation of data management as a valuable service. Meldrum adds that once a customer realizes they haven't put that data to work for them, the crop insurance is a very easy discussion to have. Back to you, Kim.
Thanks, Jack. Working capital on Illinois farms decreased in 2015, and given 2016 income prospects, it's likely that additional decreases in working capital can be expected, according to Gary Schnicke with the Department of Agricultural and Consumer Economics at the University of Illinois. Schnicke says by the end of 2016, it's very likely that most of the working capital reserves that farmers built during 2007 to 13, when farm incomes were high, will be gone. This means working capital levels will be comparable to what we saw in 1996 to 2006. Over the last 2 years, working capital reserves were used to fund shortfalls in cash flow. But if prices remain low during 2017, Schnicke says farmers will need to find other means to address cash shortfalls other than reducing working capital. That said, reductions in working capital do not necessarily signal a time of financial stress in agriculture, according to Schnicke. He says while incomes will once again be low in 2016, most farmers will have the financial reserves to handle shortfalls in cash. It could mean trouble in the future, though. Schnicke says at the end of 2016, many farmers won't have large working capital reserves compared to historical levels. If 2017 is a low-income year, cash shortfalls will again occur. Working capital reserves may no longer be large enough to cover cash shortfalls. Farmers may have to use other methods of meeting cash shortfalls, including 1. Refinancing short-term debt into longer maturity debt, and 2. Liquidating assets. Lenders may seek FSA guarantees for operations that are becoming financially questionable. Commodity prices are the best gauge of whether or not we'll continue to see low farm incomes. Schnicke says as long as corn prices remain below $4, working capital and financial situations on grain farms in the Midwest can be expected to deteriorate. Large cash shortfalls will occur on most farms when corn prices are $3.50 per bushel or below. The consolidation trend in agriculture continued in a big way when Bayer acquired Monsanto for $66 billion. Bayer and Monsanto had been in talks since the spring, and last week the deal became official. The companies report that the merger will realize a shared vision of integrated agricultural offerings, delivering enhanced solutions for growers, and creates a leading innovation engine for the next generation of farming. Bayer and Monsanto's combined 2015 sales for crop protection and seed and traits products would make them the industry leader, ahead of the two newly combined companies of ChemChina Ag and Syngenta and DuPont and Dow. The continuing consolidation trend in ag hasn't gone unnoticed, and it's drawing a lot of scrutiny. Of the top 6 U.S. and European agribusiness companies, all but one are in talks for a merger or buyout. Earlier this week, executives from Monsanto, Bayer, DuPont, Dow Chemical, and Syngenta met with the Senate Judiciary Committee. While the executives argued the consolidation in the industry will create efficiencies and will bring new technologies to the market, critics aren't so sure. Senator Amy Klobuchar of Minnesota noted that with all these mergers taking place, only a few companies would be left at the top. She said, "Our farmers and consumers face enough challenges without the additional benefit of an anti-competitive market. The 3 transactions before us are substantial. Taken together, they reduce the 6 major agribusiness firms to 4. Chip Bowling, a Maryland farmer and president of the National Corn Growers Association, says his organization is concerned about what the merger could mean for crop input prices, especially given the current ag economy. Similar concerns were raised in mid-June over the Dow and DuPont merger, according to No-Till Farmer editor Frank Lessiter. If crop input prices go up as a result of the merger, that could spell continued bad news for farm equipment dealers and manufacturers who are already paying the price in the form of declining equipment sales. Equipment purchases continue to be one of the first items to go when farmers are looking to cut their production costs. The two companies now face the challenge of getting the merger approved by regulators both in Europe and here in the US. And now from the Implement and Tractor archives, Deere & Company has been making news, particularly as of late, for acquiring other manufacturers to expand its product portfolio. But this isn't new territory for Deere. The farm equipment manufacturer explored a new market back in 1899 when it acquired the buggy business of Manser and Tebbets. By 1902, the buggy business had grown so much that Deere needed to build a new plant in St. Louis. As always, we welcome your feedback. You can send comments and story suggestions to kschmidt@lessitermedia.com. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.